Hello, I'm Philip Brunelle, Artistic Director and founder of Vocal Essence and organist choirmaster at Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis. It's been wonderful each day to find a composer who's had a role to play in some way with both organizations. Some of these composers are very familiar names, others perhaps brand new to you, and I suspect the one today may be brand new. This is the Dutch composer Henk Badings, B-A-D-I-N-G-S. Born in 1907, died in 1987. I got to know his music because of a beautiful vocal piece of his, but we'll come to that later. As a Dutch composer, this is a man who wrote more than 1,000 pieces. That's a lot of music. It included 15 symphonies, 4 string quartets, and he was also very interested in writing in different modes. You know, you have things like the major mode or the minor mode, but there are others. One of the ones he liked to write in was called the Octatonic Mode, which I'm sure everyone here is familiar with. But anyway, the Octatonic Mode was the mode where you alternate whole steps and half steps. So in other words, whole steps would be like, that's a half step would be, but a whole step, those are whole steps. If you wanted to do it all with half steps, you'd be going. Well, the octatonic scale, which he liked to use, alternated between half step and whole step. So you would have half, whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, like that. So that's how you'd get the octatonic scale. So anyway, some of his music has a little different flavor to it. And he also, because he was from Holland, and there are many big churches that have these carillons there, he wrote a piece for carillon. And because it's carillon, I just sort of put the pedal down because you know these bells would ring out and ring out. So this is part of a toccata that he wrote for carillon. Carillon by Henk Badings. He also wrote some beautiful pieces for organ. This one I'm going to play on the piano. A little cantilene that, again, you can hear that kind of interesting use of scales that he liked to experiment with. Cantilene by Henk Badings. music of Henk Badings. Well, I mentioned earlier that there was a piece of his that I became familiar with about, well, almost 50 years ago. And it's from a group of pieces that are called Three Little Songs, originally they were all on English text, and they were to be for mezzo-soprano, organ, and oboe. But I'll play the oboe part on the piano today. They were all, as I said, English texts. This one comes from a 15th century text called Adam le Ibounden. Adam le Ibounden is the story from the book of Genesis in the 3rd chapter, and it talks about Adam le Ibounden, bounden in a bond, and this all became part of leading to Advent. And the carol itself is what we call macaronic, and a macaronic carol is a carol that happens in 2 languages. The same thing would be true at Christmas if you were singing Angels We Have Heard on High, because you start in English and then you switch to Gloria in Excelsis, which is in Latin. So this one does exactly the same kind of thing. It begins in English and then it switches to Latin. But it's a good idea if I am not the singer of this. So I'm very happy that my good friend Clara Osowski will join me to sing Adam le Ibounden. Have a wonderful day.